Good morning. Well, it's morning where I am. Welcome to another Jules Unedited. So I think what I'm going to do is just do different videos featuring the new Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palettes. But I did ask a question on my community page asking you what you prefer. So I'm just going to do today's video with the Super Neutral palette. So yesterday I put up a video with the Sensual Sunset. And let me just, okay. And so yeah, I may combine the rest of them in one video, or I may just do them all separate. I don't really know yet. We'll see how it goes. But I'm having fun doing, like, giving each one their own spotlight. I think it's just kind of fun. So I'm going to try and mix up my base. Even though I really loved the base that I wore yesterday, I'm going to try something different today. So I'm going to use the MAC Studio Radiance Moisturizing and Illuminating Silky Primer, which looks like this. I've never used this, so I really have no idea how this is going to be on my skin. There is a little bit of a fragrance, but it's not overpowering, I don't think, because I am sensitive to fragrance. But yeah, I don't find it to be super overpowering, so that's nice. This is a little more tacky than the strobe light or strobe cream. I really like the strobe cream. Like, I really like that one. But for the sake of today, trying something different, branching out, I'm going to use the Studio Fix Tech Cream to Powder Foundation. And this is in the shade NW15. It's quite the struggle trying to find a match in MAC because their shade ranges are opposite. So like warm is cool. So if it says like NW, it means it's more cool. And in certain formulas, I am like different colors. So, or like different shades. So I'm not really sure how that works. It's just kind of trial and error, honestly. And like, you may have to mix a few together. So I am using the 170S MAC. Okay, so yesterday I used my Sisley Phytotant Perfection foundation. Right off the bat, I feel like I prefer that one more, but I have not played with this enough to really know, what I like better. But just right off the bat, I do prefer my Sisley one. It could be that I have the right shades for that. I feel like this might be just a tad too light, but that's okay because I'll warm it up. So let me just add a little bit more of this to my face. This is very rich and creamy, so I feel like you definitely need some sort of a primer with this. Otherwise, you risk having it look a little cakey, possibly. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to figure this out as we go. But yeah, it's a little light, so maybe I could get a darker shade and just mix it in with this, but I do think it's a pretty good match. I'm not mad about it. But the coverage on the Phyto Tint one that I used in my other video, this one has a little bit more coverage. I'm going to use my Kevin Aquan Sensual Skin Enhancer in SX08. This is a phenomenal product. I use this, and I'm using it again. So I used this last time. And you can use this as like a multi-purpose product. You can use it as like a concealer or a foundation. And so I'm just going to kind of really liberally apply this in the areas that I need it most. I have melasma. I know I say that like every video, but I want to cover that a little bit more because I feel like the Studio Tech, it has pretty good coverage, honestly, but I just need a little bit more. And this is a little bit more like a warmer tone, so I think it's really going to help balance this Studio Tech foundation. Also, I did use my Bobbi Brown color corrector before we started. I used this one, and I used it with this product from the drugstore. Actually, it's just like a hyaluronic acid serum. I find that those two products go well together, so I prepped my eyes with that. And then I also did my eyebrows with the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen and the Benefit Clear Brow Setter. Per usual, nothing really changed there. So I'm just kind of spreading this around, making sure everything is evenly distributed. And this brush is very dense, which I really like for these types of products because they're kind of creamy products, so it works out. It's pretty cloudy today and it's not very light out yet, so the video might be kind of dark. And there may be construction sounds, but I'll do my best to get those out. All right, so I think everything is pretty blended here. I'm filming this really early. Well, it's about 7 o'clock. I have work. It's Monday morning, but I mentioned in my last video that I get super grouchy if I can't film. So I'm trying to prioritize that a little bit more, and every Tuesday, Thursday, I work out in the morning, and then I'll do like walks like the other days. So, excuse me, I'm going to use my Westman Atelier contour stick in the shade Biscuit. This is a good one. I'm just going to take it right on my brush, my foundation brush, and just add that contour right in there. So this is a creamy product, so I feel like it goes well with the Kevyn Aucoin and that MAC Studio Fix Tech, whatever, Studio Fix Tech. So many names, you know, can't remember them all sometimes. And then I'm going to just do the same thing over here. So today, the palette, the eyeshadow palette is going to be a little bit more neutral, leaning cool. Yesterday, I did one that was more of a warm palette, and I really loved that one because it wasn't overly warm. It was, in my opinion, like neutral, leaning warm. So I really liked that. I'm gonna take a little bit of this on my nose. I should have used a smaller brush for this, but that's okay. I will sort that out after. I'm just going to use a little bit underneath here. I hate using the word snatch, but snatch that jawline. Let me just turn up the lights here because I feel like it's dark. Okay, I think that's better. I don't know though, it might be too late now. Sometimes it's hard to tell. So my skin feels very dewy. I do want to set this down in a moment, but let me just go in with my blush. I'm going to use the Westman Atelier blush stick in the shade Mimi. So this is kind of like a mauve-y, I don't even know how to explain it. I'll put it up on the screen, but it's like rosy, I guess. Actually, I could just look it up. Let me look that up real quick because it's going to bother me. So Westman Atelier Mimi. So this is described, okay, a tawny beige. That's how it's described. I felt like this tone will go really well with the palette because it has a little bit of these beigey colors, a little bit of gray. I don't know, it just spoke to me to use this blush. So, plus I want to use the products I have. I know I'm buying a lot of like new releases lately. Do not feel pressured to follow my lead. I do it to help you decide which product is best for you. I have a channel, you know, dedicated to this, and I consume more makeup than the average person probably, partially because I have this channel and I feel as if it is helpful if I show you what the different options are so you can make the best purchasing decisions for yourself. So don't ever feel like pressured, or don't compare yourself with others in terms of like, oh, I wish I could buy all the palettes. And the comparison game is never good. It's never good. We're all in different like areas of our life, different times of our lives, different budgets. So just do what works for you. This is just a guide. And so take it as you will. Okay, just don't feel pressured and don't compare. Easier said than done, but I'm going to use the Sculpt and Shape Contour Palette by MAC. And I'm honestly just going to take all these shades here at the bottom and just pop that right over those cream products to set this. I feel like this does a really good job at setting without me having to go in with like a loose powder, which honestly is refreshing because I don't always want to go in with like a translucent powder and then have to go in with blush because it's like just adding another layer, you know? So this is a beautiful alternative for that. And these shades are perfect. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. I am also going to go in with the MAC Global Glow. I have never used this. Never used this. So this is the first time. I hear really great things about it, so I had to try it. I'm really loving MAC and Mob Beauty. I have a lot of favorites, but those are recent favorites. I've always loved MAC. I love Bare Minerals too. That's like an OG for me. So maybe I'll do more videos with Bare Minerals because I love them too. Okay. Let's see how that's coming along. I like that. I want to kind of blend in the lines here with my foundation brush. Even though my foundation brush has color on it, it still helps to blend it kind of all in one. Then I would like to go in with a matte blush. I kind of want to use a different one than what I used yesterday. Hold please, let me find one. Okay, let me see if this matches. Yeah, this might, no, let me use a different one. So, going to use the shade Chai by Laura Mercier. I feel like this is a good shade to use with this look. And this is a beautiful formula as well. Can't go wrong with these products, honestly. These are classics. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit more on my nose. Just put that up. Okay. I need to like blend this out a little bit more. Here. All right. Let me just move this a little bit. No, actually, okay. So yeah, I think I'm satisfied with that. So I'm gonna use my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer and apply this pretty liberally. Just finding brushes that I want to use here. I'll use my Nikki LaRose BK Beauty N14 to spread this on my eyelids. This is very light coverage primer, but it's very lightweight, and I love that. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder to set my eyes. Let me just find a brush. I need to clean my brushes. Starting to get a little out of control over here. I think I'll do that today at some point during all the craziness of work. Well, maybe tonight after work. Okay, so I set that. All right, let's just go into this palette. Let's start. So I'm going to use the lightest shade to set even further. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to get my brushes closer here. Let's see which brush I want to use. I think a lot of them are dirty. I might just use this same brush I used to set with the powder. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this like all over my lid and just disperse that. So I know these these palettes don't have mirrors, which is okay. Honestly, I have a little mirror I can use, but I can see if you're like traveling or something, it can be kind of annoying. But like, it's not make or break for me because these shadow formulas really surprised me. Not to say that I didn't think Charlotte Tilbury was a good product, good brand. I do. I think that they have a really good brand. But you just never know. And this just really surprised me, and I don't know. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's like a kind of a grayish brown, and put that in my crease. The shadows are made in Italy, and they're extremely smooth and blendable. And the shades are sort of unique, even though it's, you know, I've been doing like a neutral look. Yesterday was kind of just like a semi-basic look. I just feel like the tones of the shades and the colors are very, I don't know, I wouldn't say unique. I wouldn't go as far as saying that, but they're just spot on, very flattering shades for many different people. I feel like they would suit a wide range of people. And yeah, I really like that. So one of my tips is to just really take your time blending, because if you get a really good blend with these shadows, it comes out so beautiful. I feel like this shade matches my shirt, and that's kind of what I was going for. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Oops, wrong way. Okay, so we're zoomed in so you can see a little bit better. I'm just taking a little bit more in my crease. I'm going to kind of follow the same format that I did with the Sensual Sunset one, where I do kind of like darker in the outer corner. But then later on, you know, throughout the year, I'm going to experiment with like different looks, different styles of eyeshadow formats and whatnot. But I just, for the sake of showing the colors and the shades to you and the finishes, I just feel like I want to do somewhat of a basic look. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna use, trying to decide, I don't really wanna go like blue, because there's a few shades of blue in here, so I might do that on my bottom lash line, but for the top, I'm going to use these two shades mixed. It's like a brown and a gray. So, let me see. These two right here. This one and this one. This is like a grayish and this is like a brown. So I'm going to use that kind of in the outer corner of my eye. I wish I had some cleaner brushes. But that's okay. I'm going to work with this. It's alright. I can do it. I can do it. I'm just going to blend this in the outer corner. Yeah, I really like how one of those shades is kind of like a brown and then one's a little bit more cool tone. So that's why I feel like it makes it more neutral. So that's my take on it. Let's see. And who doesn't love a good neutral palette? I know it can be kind of boring concept, but you can really do so much with it, you know? You can make it your own, and it's very flattering. Okay, let's go in with the cool shades here. I'm going to use this shade first. I think it's like a diamond dimension shade, and it looks like that. Oh, so pretty. And I'm gonna pop that right in the center. I'm gonna bring it in a little bit, but I'm just kind of patting that in. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. This is like a taupey, kind of minky color, I would say. There is some coolness to this shade. But it's beautiful, and the formula is just so nice. It's like very smoothing, you know? And I'm going to use this shade here. It's more of a, I wish it would focus. I would say this is like a taupey, like pinky color. I'm just going to add that over it just to mix them. Kind of add a little bit more warmth. This shade has a little bit more warmth. Okay. It's darker than I thought. It looks so much lighter in the pan. And then when you actually put it on, it's like pretty dark, but not in a bad way. All right, and then for my inner corner, I want to use this shade right here. I feel like this has like more of a blue base almost. It's interesting. I think I'm gonna need a setting spray with this one. This one's a little bit more textured. So I'm just taking my MAC Fix Plus and then I'm just putting that like in the inner corner. This is like more of a silvery shade. So this is going to make the eye look a little cooler, I feel like. Cool toned. I'm just kind of meshing that in with those other shimmer shades. So there's that. Really, really pretty. Okay. For my bottom lash line, I am going to use these bluer shades. So I'm going to use like this grayish blue and this dark blue right here. And I'm going to center that in the outer portion of my eye. use my finger to kind of blend that. Just keeping that very close to my lash line. I think I want to add like a brightening concealer. So I'm going to take my Hourglass concealer in Silk and just put a little bit right here in the inner corners, and then I'll spread that out. I just feel like it needs a little bit of brightening right here. Like just clean up those edges a little bit underneath. Yeah. Perfect. I do think I need a little bit more blush. So I'm trying to figure out which blush to add. I'll probably just add a little bit more of the Laura Mercier one. I'm just going to keep that like up high. There. Okay. Yeah, I think that's nice. Pretty color. Let me set my face with a Matte Fix Plus. Probably should have done that before I did my eyes, but that's okay. I'm going to take my fan. And I think today I'm going to use, I can't decide if I want to use a brown or black mascara. Let's do lips first and then I'll decide. And I don't know if I want to do a liner. Should I do a liner? Maybe I'll use my Inglot liner. It's like a gel liner. But now I feel like I'm getting like real glam. And usually if I do a glam look like before work like this, I'll have to wash it off just because it's like too much for just me sitting at my computer all day, which is sad because I really like this makeup. So at least I know what works and what doesn't, so when I go out, I know what to do. And then I actually will look back at my own videos and be like, okay, that's what I used. So I want to use the Mob Beauty lip liner in M159. This one is a little bit more cool tone than the other one that I used yesterday. I think that was like, let's see, that was the M1990. So M159 is more similar to like MAC Stone or Greige in that family. It's more of a cool tone for sure. So it is a nice like kind of contour, if you will, contour shade. I do a little bit of overlining just to plump up these lips and give them a shadow. And then I'm going to use a little bit of chestnut as well, just to add some dimension. Lipstick of choice today is the Mob Beauty matte lipstick in M154B. Beautiful color. Beautiful color, beautiful formula. Obsessed. And I'm just going to blend this in a little with my finger. my video, or my camera stopped recording, so I'm back. Okay, I think I want to use a little bit more chestnut just to further define. Just because that Mauve Beauty lipstick is a little bit light, but I love it. I just like to add a little bit of dimension. Pretty. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out black or brown mascara. I wish I had like a gray mascara, like a charcoal. Oh, let me just tightline first. Let's use my Chantecaille Earth, which I always use. I gotta find it. Where is it? Here it is. So a lot of my makeup is kind of messy right now. I don't like when my table gets messy, but it is what it is. I'm gonna clean it after this and clean my brushes, which is always a good feeling. So I'm just tightlining with my Chantecaille Earth, per usual. This is described as like an espresso color. I feel like it's like a brown, black, charcoal. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. Personally, for my eyes, I really love it. Let's see. I feel like I could use, well, let's just stick with my Swede brightening eye kohl. I always forget the exact name. It's the Bright Satin Kohl Liner. I love this one. I also love the Chantecaille one and the Victoria Beckham one. But I have to say, I think this Swede one I like the most. Just the tone of it, I just really feel like it looks a little bit more natural. Let's see. All right, I'm just gonna do a black mascara today. And where's my eyelash curler? Just curl my lashes with the Refer eyelash curler. There's so many eyeshadow palettes I want to use. I have one from Chantecaille that I've been wanting to use. And, you know, I just gotta find the time to make these videos. I wish I could do like multiple ones in a day. Sometimes I do, but it'll hurt my eyes if I do too many eye looks in one day. Like my eyes start to not feel great. Like they feel raw almost, like they hurt from all the friction of removing like the eyeshadow and then reapplying and stuff. Sometimes I'm able to do 2 looks, 3 if I'm really lucky, but 2 is usually like the max. That's why it's been kind of nice filming these videos separate with each palette, because I can really take time and showcase each one of them to their fullest potential instead of rushing through and trying to fit them all in one video. And I don't know, I kind of enjoy this format a little bit better, but that's just me. I could do one where I like compare one side with the other. I just feel like you get more of a better picture when I do both eyes for some reason. Like I feel like it's, like for the Victoria Beckham one, I did the olive and the Victoria one-on-one eye in the same look. And while that's nice, I feel like you don't really get the full effect. Like I wish I kind of broke those up and did, you know, one eye with just one like eye look with just Victoria, one eye look with just Olive, which I might still do. So far I'm liking the Charlotte Tilbury palettes a little bit better. I do like the Victoria Beckham palettes. I do think they are just very pricey for how many you get in there. But they are made in Italy as well. Same with the Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like my words are not forming correctly this morning. I have the case of the Mondays. Let me know if you get the case of the Mondays. But yeah, just trying to get this lash to cooperate because it's not really cooperating. And then I'm going to take a little bit on my lower lash line, on the bottom, on the outer part. That works for my eye shape the best, but you do you, whatever looks good for you. I encourage you to do that. Okay. Let's see. All right, I think I'm done. Yeah. Let me turn the light down a little bit because it's like getting lighter outside now. Okay, so this is the final look. I like it. It's a little bit more cool toned than the Sensual Sunset palette. So let me just give you like a little comparison if I can find the other one. Somewhere in here. Here we go. Hang on. So this is the Sensual Sunset and this is the neutrals, super neutrals. I will link the video where I did the Sensual Sunset if you missed that. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you have a good start to your week. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.